Don't give up, but hang in there.
Y'all see what I'm talking about? Come on, Kiara Sheehan, come help her. Everybody clap your hands. Kiara Sheehan, make some noise. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go.
What you gonna do when your back's against the wall? How you gonna respond when it seems the hope is lost? Tell me what you gonna do when you need a little more grace. Yeah. How you gonna respond when they try to test your faith? Hang on in there. Hang
Backs against the wall, you gotta hang when it seems my hope is lost. See, I'm a witness, he'll hold you up, and in the process, he'll fill your cup. So I'm not worried, I'm not scared, I'm gon' trust like my bishop said. It's a message to the devil, you can't help our faith, and we gon' make it by body and praise. You gotta hang.
Welcome to the I Am Dr. Sharon Show, featuring educators, authors, and entrepreneurs. You can join us live every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please follow Dr. Sharon across all social media platforms at I Am Dr. Sharon. And now your host, Dr. Sharon H. Porter.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday and happy September, my favorite month of the year. And it's my birthday month, so I love it. Thank you so much for joining us for another wonderful episode of the I Am Dr. Sharon Show. So today I'm going to start out with our Book of the Week and Author feature. It is Reality to Rags to Riches, the story and life of an ex-NFL wife, Angela Marshall, and she will be a call-in guest this show, so please stay tuned for her. I'm so excited. You will be too once you hear her story. So we'll listen in at her about 10:50. So definitely stay tuned for that. But my first guest right here in studio is Miss Debbie Jo Wheatley. She was a nurse for almost 30 years before going into the interior design business. Oh my goodness. Can we please welcome Miss Debbie Jo Wheatley? Debbie Jo, I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's
so
wonderful.
wow, a nurse for 30 years. That's a long time.
It is. Yes.
And what I love most is actually how you have combined both of your passion of interior design and nursing. So I want to start out by saying you are the owner of Designs by Debbie Jo. Talk to us a little bit about Designs by Debbie Jo.
Designs by Debbie Jo. I work in the Northern Virginia, D.C., Maryland area, and I do renovations with area contractors if people are putting in new kitchens, new baths. I also do interior design, buying furniture, done some corporate work, doing their lobbies and art installation.
Awesome. And you started out thinking you were going to do some staging, basically.
Yes.
And so that really just catapulted into something entirely different almost, because it's more than staging now.
It is.
So, you know, when you are designing, and that's something that, first of all, I love. I'm not a designer, but honey, I'm a HGTV queen.
Yes.
And I think we all are.
Yes.
And so, in really looking at all of those wonderful designs, what do you have to know particularly before you go in and help a client?
Pretty much what their passions are. I have, you know, I kind of take the interior design when I'm working with a client, kind of like I did as a nurse. I would go in, I would kind of assess the situation, I would listen, and then I would come up with a plan. So I kind of do that. I listen to them to see what they're looking for their space.
Okay.
And once I kind of get a little feel of their personality, then we can put it together. My tagline is called making sense of your desires. Great design is, because it's not about me, it's not about what I like and what's in for now, but it's what's going to work for them. However, I try to make sure I tweak it enough that it actually works.
Okay, I love that. And so you consider yourself an aging in place specialist.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that, because that's really how you have combined your passions.
Right.
Talk about that.
It started a number of years ago, actually. I was working with an elderly woman in her home. We were doing her kitchen. And as we were doing it, she had some physical disabilities. So we looked around the area and we found that we could put a shower next to her powder room. She was lucky to have a big enough home that she had a library that we could use as a bedroom if we needed to eventually. So we set up her whole downstairs if she needed it. And it turned out she did need it, which was great. She didn't have to leave her home. So when I'm in working on renovations with baby boomers and so forth that are wanting to do things to their home, I want them to renovate smartly. I want them to think about barrier-free showers, widening doorways, more drawers than doors in the kitchen so they can move around.
Drawers than doors, I like that.
And then they don't have to leave their home. Something catastrophic could happen. Something's probably going to happen to all of us, be it a hip, be it a knee, whatever, that we'd have to live on the first floor. And how can we do that without having to spend a couple of months in a skilled nursing facility, because that's your rehab. And that can kind of bring people down and all, and people tend to do much better when they're at home. So it kind of started doing it in that.
So, you know, as you're talking, it really makes me to think those of us who are not yet at that stage really can be thinking about that, you know, as we are purchasing our homes. And a lot of times we think those are our forever homes, you know, right now. But as you say, things happen.
Right.
And so I know a lot of times people like a main level bedroom, things of that nature. So how can individuals that are not quite at that space yet begin to think forward about that?
Well, I think especially if they're searching for a home and they're looking, you know, always look where you could possibly put a bedroom. Is there a spot that a shower can go into? If you have a powder room that's next to an area that has some room. Right now in Arlington, we're actually doing a house where we're building 3 stories on the outside of the house, and it's going to go across where once we break through, she'll have a bedroom and bathroom and laundry room all on the first floor, but we're also putting in an elevator at the time too. So she has full access to the house. Now this woman is thinking ahead. She said, I don't plan to leave. I love my house. I love the area. So let's, you know, I've got the money to do it. Let's just go ahead and get this done now. So 5 years down the road, because usually what happens when something does happen, people have to leave their homes so quickly and sell and they lose money that way, and then they're in places they don't want to be.
Exactly.
You know, having to think too fast.
Wow. And that's really something to think about, you know, and I don't think a lot of people actually think that.
No, they don't.
But definitely something that we should, if you want to stay in your home, which is your whole premise.
Right.
Keep them where they are.
Right.
So talk to us a little bit about really how you started with going down that route.
with the aging in place.
The aging in place.
Like I said, it was the one woman that we did, but then it just was always in the back of my mind with nursing. I'd be looking around the house. It's like, well, if you were on crutches, you can't get through here. Or if you are in a wheelchair, you can't get into the bathroom. How are we going to turn you around? How are you going to do a shower and stuff? So I kind of slid myself into these people and saying, you don't have to do it right now, but you might want to think about this.
Love that.
And also in making it a safe place, how they place their furnishings, not having little area rugs thrown around. I got called in to help a friend's in-laws, and the mother-in-law was like, but I love my oriental rugs. And I'm like, well, you're going to trip over them. But what I did is I got quilt racks and we hung them on the wall. And she could see them. They were nice art. They were colorful. I said, well, change them out when you want to. But I said, somebody's going to take a header over these with the fringe. So I was worried, it was more of, let's honor your pieces, let's honor what you have, but let's be smart about it so you don't hurt yourself. To me, it's about safety, function, but also keeping the aesthetics there, because you want the place to be pretty.
You want it to be pretty.
That's
right. Functional but pretty.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Yes.
So I love that. And so just if a client or a potential client is ready to redesign their space, in addition to looking for that, aging in place space,
right?
What's the first step when they reach out to you?
Usually they've reached out to me because they want to redo their bathroom. Okay. It's usually a bathroom thing. And so then I start with, let's do barrier-free showers. Let's do this. Let's do pocket doors so we have more room when you go through, as opposed to having doors that open that they may open the wrong way, or you may not be able to get through. So a lot of times people will call us when they're going to have parents move in with them. And so how are we going to make that space down there for them as well? And so the whole thing, my whole premise is, if you're in a wheelchair, where's your radius, where you're turning? And having been an orthopedic nurse and having to deal with small hospital rooms and trying to turn people around, and all I'm doing is back and forth and having to move furniture, just trying to show them how we can make pass through, and still make it look nice.
Exactly.
Right.
And so you also do kitchens.
Yes.
What do you do with a redesign for a kitchen?
Well, it's usually renovation, and a lot of times what I'll do, and I tell people all the time, the more drawers than doors thing, because it really is. I love the shelves that pull out. They're great, but if you're on the wrong side of the door when you open it, doesn't matter if that shelf pulls out. So if you have a crutch, you've broken your ankle or something and you can't get around. With the drawers, people can reach down and do things. I've done a lot with 2-drawer dishwashers for people that live alone, or there's a couple. The top one, that's all they need to use. They don't have to be bending all the time to get at things. I don't suggest those for families because I don't think they're great overall in terms of using the whole thing all the time, but it really does come in handy for them. Making sure that they can side up to counter spaces and all, either a drop down. Some people are taller, so they do better when they're trying to sit down in a counter height stool or something. They can just slide into it, and so we make a space for them that they can sit while they're prepping and doing work.
Wow. This is fascinating. It really is. Oh my God. So which HGTV show do you prefer to watch? I love it.
Actually, I always love looking at House Hunters.
Okay.
Because I'm always going, but I do this because I'm in the process now of, kind of looking where I want to retire and all. It's like every house I've seen, I'm doing the kitchen. So every time they go to pick a house, I'm like, why are you picking that one? The kitchen's better than that other one.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, okay, I've got to ask about, with the kitchen renovation, with the bathroom renovation in the aging in space, what is the barrier to an individual not going through doing that, other than money? Because undoubtedly it takes money.
Right.
But why would someone not choose to do that?
I think people get afraid too, and they think that their house isn't going to sell. A couple times, if I do all this, if I put in a bar, if I put in something here that would help, what's that going to do in terms of resale? And I tell them, done right, it looks really, really nice. I do a lot of, especially in showers, I do a lot of no doors. But I put the diverter where you turn it on at the front so they're not running in. So, it takes them a little while to digest it, but once they understand it, it's better. But a lot of times it's more, well, if I do this, they're going to think it's an older person's home. And it really isn't. It's actually allowing other people to come in and stay long as well. I think it's a better resale if you have it set up in that way.
So the contractors that you work with, do you have like specific contractors, or does it just vary depending on the need of the client?
I have probably a set of 4 that I work with that, depending if we're Maryland, DC, or we're in Virginia, whatever part of Virginia they're in, and their specialties of what they do. All of them are great. I'm brought in by other contractors. They hear about me and they're like, well, we're going to do the thing that people know, but we don't know what to pick.
Right.
So then I'll go in and help them with their choices and stuff and help
that is awesome.
set it up.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So where can people reach out to you if they are in need of your services?
Okay, you can email me at debbiejo@designsbydebbiejo.com. My website is designsbydebbiejo.com. Sorry. I am on Facebook as Designs by Debbie Jo, and on Instagram at DebbieJo11.
So fascinating. Debbie Jo, thank you. Anything
thank you
to
so
do with
much.
design, I love, love, love.
Well, I
So
appreciate
thank
it.
you so much. I appreciate you stopping by and sharing your expertise.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
Guys, Debbie Jo, can we thank her for being
Thanks.
here? Thank you so much. Guys, and it doesn't stop here. Our next guest is Miss Takia Lawrence. I'm so excited. She was actually one of my first guests on the show, so I'm so excited to bring her back. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Is the price you pay for flying high. So whenever you're flying high, you're going to have some bumpy areas. That's why I want to admonish you to don't give up, but hang in there.
Y'all see what I'm talking about? Come on, Kiara Sheehan, come help us. Everybody clap your hands. Kiara Sheehan, make some noise. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go.
What you gonna do when your back's against the wall? How you gonna respond when it seems the hope is lost? Tell me what you gonna do when you need a little more grace. Yeah. How you gonna respond when they try to test your faith? Hang on. In there.
And we are back with Miss Takia Lawrence. So glad to have her. As I stated, she was one of the first guests on the show, on the actual first show. She is the founder of Me LLC. She is a self-love strategist, a rural traveler, a philanthropist, and author. She has been featured in 3 book collaborations, and she also runs a blog, While They Sip Tea. Can we welcome Miss Takia Lawrence? Takia, thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness, you have been busy. Oh my goodness. And the first thing that we need to talk about is Me LLC. Talk a little bit about what that is and the services that you provide.
So Love Me LLC
Love
was
Me.
started to basically provide different ways of encouraging and empowering women to focus on self-love, because while we say it all the time, we don't practice it. We're always doing things for everybody else, and we come last on the list or not on the list at all.
That's so true.
And
oh my goodness.
You know, we think about it and we say it, but we don't do it.
That's
so
so
it's
true.
a mission to bring that to the forefront of our minds so that we are, in fact, doing it and taking care of ourselves.
Love Me LLC. I love it. And so we talked about the last time that you were here, and I must bring it up again. 2016, you stepped away from your full-time paramedics job right here in the Washington, D.C. area.
Yes.
Talk about the changes that have occurred since you took that jump.
So a couple of different things have happened. Just from that step of faith, I've definitely built my faith up. So when I'm approached with things to do or opportunities come, I'm more open to doing them by walking, by faith. And so even the co-author book projects, I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know. I mean, I always have wanted to be an author, and so I knew that I would. And so when those opportunities came, I didn't know how they were going to go. But I said, you know what? I'm just going to step out on faith, and I'm going to try them out. And they've been fantastic. And it's crossed the goal that I had off my list, although I do plan to do some other book projects.
Okay.
It was still just an opportunity for me to step into that. So I'm thankful for that. I've done several things such as your show and some others. So just these opportunities are new for me, and I'm glad that I'm in this space of being able to take advantage of them.
I love it, I tell you. And so you actually have an event that's coming up, the BFF Experience.
Yes.
Talk about it.
So the BFF Experience is going to be an experience for women to come out, just get together and discuss its beauty, fashion, fitness, business, faith, and finances.
Oh, I love it.
Some of the things that we love, and definitely, we all have them in our lives in some capacity or other. So I want women to come out and be able to walk away with something almost tangible. So it's going to be a great day and a great experience.
Oh, my goodness. So when is it? Where is it?
The BFF Experience is September the 29th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. It's going to be at the Harborside Hotel in Oxon Hill,
One of my favorite venues.
Yes, it's going to be over there. So it's going to be nice, and I hope that all the women come, really walk away having felt like they had an experience. I'm one of those people, I like experiences. So I wanted to share that, and I hope that the women, take away that from the experience.
Absolutely. And, from being a paramedic to now basically living your purpose, what lessons have you learned from that whole experience? Because you spent how many years as a paramedic?
Almost 18.
Almost 18 years. That's a long time. And dealing in a very stressful, first of all, job in our nation's capital. So what lessons did you take away from that you're now able to utilize to help build your business and live your passion?
So one of my biggest lessons is the reason I started Love Me LLC is because from being in that field, there was oftentimes when I would see people who weren't taking care of themselves, just in general, or because they were taking care of other people or trying to, or allowing others to stress them out or just impact their lives in a negative way. So that was one thing that I wanted to focus on, continuing to, empower women, especially to listen, take care of yourself, so that you don't run into that emergency, or so that you don't have that, heart attack or stroke because of the way that you're living your life.
Wow.
So that was something that I definitely wanted to continue on from seeing the many instances of that happening. Again, the faith thing was big because for a long time, I knew that I wanted to leave and that I was going to. I just didn't know when and how. But it took some time for me to build up my faith and just to finally step out and do it. So that was something I've taken away from it. And just, of course, the general notion that life is precious. We have to enjoy it. You could be here 1 second and gone the next.
Absolutely.
So we have to, we really have to, enjoy life and cherish it, because we only have one life to live, to be honest.
I love it. And so, with the BFF Experience, do you plan to make this an annual event, or are there other experiences or events that you have planned for women?
I definitely hope that it will be an annual event. This is definitely something that I wanted to do, and I've been thinking about it for a while. So I was like, let me just go ahead and do it and see how it goes. So I definitely hope and plan to make it an annual event. I will do other things, maybe not on that scale, but I will definitely do other things. In 2017, I did do a vision board party, so I may do that again at some point. But other things, definitely, again, always to empower us as women to get together and, you know, live our lives to the best and fulfill ourselves and live abundantly, because abundance is ours.
That's it. Oh, my goodness. So who do you have? Do you have other guests that will be in as part of this experience?
I do. I have a whole lineup of people that I am confirming, everybody. But as the days are coming, I am, you know, rolling them out. I do have Keisha Harding. She's the founder of Love Conquers All. And she'll be the host for the event. And Ashley Kuhn, Lord forgive me if I pronounce her name wrong, her last name wrong. She's going to be the moderator for the panels. So it's a nice lineup that I'm rolling out, confirming everybody and locking everything in. Okay, awesome. So where can the viewers go to catch all of your updates for that and then purchase tickets? Okay, so if you type in the BFF Experience, it should definitely come up. It's all on social media and Facebook. And I am on social media everywhere at Tykia Empowers. And if you go to my page or follow me, you'll see everything being posted quite daily. I love it. Oh, my God. And so just give them your other, and so are you across all social media platforms? Yes. Okay. It's the same? Yes. Okay, awesome. There you go. So, guys, the BFF Experience is September 29th at the Harborside Hotel, a beautiful venue I love so much. So definitely you want to check it out. I tell you, it sounds like it's going to be a fantastic event. Tykia, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for having me. All right. Thank you, guys. I love it. And, guys, we're going to take another quick break. And, again, it does not stop. We have Dr. Essie McCoy that's coming up next. We'll be right back.
The price you pay for flying high. So whenever you're flying high, you're going to have some bumpy areas. That's why I want to admonish you to don't give up, but hang in there.
Back with my next guest, Dr. Essie McCoy. Dr. McCoy received her doctorate in education and a specialist degree in education and education leadership from UNC, University of North Carolina at Greensboro, a master's degree in middle grades education from Appalachian State University, and a Bachelor of Science degree in special education with a certification in learning disabilities from Winston-Salem State University. Ram Pride. Yes. She has served as an assistant principal at the elementary level before becoming the principal of 2 elementary schools. She also worked as an instructor at the Math and Science Academy of Excellence at Winston-Salem State University and an adjunct professor at A&T University and ITT Technical Institute. And she is the author of The Heart of School Transformation. Can we please welcome Dr. Essie McCoy? Woo, Dr. McCoy.
Yes, yes.
Oh, my goodness. And so I must, first of all, say it's so wonderful to see you. It's been years to actually lay eyes on you.
Yes, it is a pleasure to be here. Thank you so very much.
Absolutely. Dr. McCoy and I were principals in North Carolina together, so it's just so awesome to see all the things that you've done. And I just recently found out that you walked away, and you are now, again, just like Takia, you are living your purpose.
Exactly.
So let's talk about all the things that you have going on right now.
Thank you once again for allowing me to be here today. And indeed, I retired July 31st of this year.
Wow.
God has been good to me. And so I was able to serve in one school district for almost 30 years. And then I had an opportunity to open my own business. So Dr. Essie Speaks, educational consulting business. I coach and collaborate with educators, especially across the DMV. And I'm really excited about this opportunity. Also, I get an opportunity to go speak throughout the nation. I've been to Tyson's Corner, Virginia, New York City. We have other venues that we're going to be hopefully speaking at very soon, and I'll definitely make sure I get that information to you. In addition, I started a second business. I have an opportunity to participate in a leadership program in North Carolina and also in Virginia. So I mean, it has been a wonderful transition, a wonderful blessing. I am currently also working at George Mason University and writing more books and in divinity school.
Oh,
so
I
am
love that.
extremely busy.
You
And I have had so many wonderful I'm on social media, so Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And so I've had so many people reach out to me and ask me about my book. And I can tell you my editing team, they're working on it. So as soon as they get done and as soon as I slow down, trust me, it will be out.
That's
It'll be
awesome.
released.
So let's talk about the heart of school transformation, because as a school leader, we have to be transformational.
Yes.
And so talk a little bit about what the readers can expect in this book.
So really there are 2 themes that really came across, and they're very profound. One theme is really about me, my upbringing. So I came from a very humble beginning, and how you can create success. It doesn't matter. In the field of education, we tend to label kids as at risk. I would have been an at-risk child, but I don't use that terminology. I always say at promise. So I was at promise, and the students that are struggling, whether it's academically, socially, emotionally, psychologically, environmentally, they can succeed. We just have to make sure that we have those support systems in place, that we have a school that is engaging, that we have parental involvement, community involvement. So the book really gives strategies about how to really transform a school. I was able to create an environment within 2 schools where the schools became signature schools. They had the highest growth. They were inner city, urban, 100% free and reduced lunch, almost 100% minority. So I was able to go in there and create a team where we were able to produce and exceed expected growth, and those schools did well.
That's awesome. I tell you, it's just so exciting to see. First of all, those of you who know me know I love my edupreneurs. My educators turn entrepreneurs. I say it every time. We are so multi-skilled, multi-talented. And I encourage every educator to step outside of that school and that school district and do something for yourself.
Exactly.
I'm just an advocate for that, and you are living proof of what can be done. So I'm just so excited about that. You also were a participant at the Superintendent's Academy at Howard University, Bison Pride, and so I want you to talk a little bit about your experience in the Urban Institute Superintendents.
Yes, so I did have an opportunity for 1 year to participate in the Urban Superintendents Academy at Howard University. I was still working in the county that I served for almost 30 years as a school administrator for 20 years, and then teacher at the middle school level and college level for almost 10 years. So I was still working as a principal, but I wanted to grow and develop. And it's so important that we continue to seek opportunities.
Absolutely.
I have been involved in a lot of leadership programs. AASA, Howard University came together. We were part of the first cohort, so it was wonderful. And the great thing about that is I have an opportunity to continue to connect to those individuals. So especially with me living here in the DMV and living in North Carolina, I try to go back and forth when I can, but definitely I have an opportunity to really connect across the nation. So it has been so powerful, and I would encourage everyone to take that opportunity and take that leap of faith as you so described earlier.
That's awesome. And so you are actually right now in school districts in this area, working with teacher development, basically. And so we in Maryland, we go back to school on Tuesday. Teachers have been in for this week. What really suggestions do you have for new teachers that will be leading their class for the very first time on Tuesday?
So I had an opportunity, right now I'm working in 3 counties. I had an opportunity to go to 2 counties. They have already started. So last week was their first week. I'm also working with a teacher who's in another county, and she will once again start Tuesday of this week. I would say be well planned. That's the most important thing. Be optimistic. Be passionate about what you do. Look at every child as potential, a child who has potential, a child who can succeed. Bring out and discover the best in every single child in your classroom, every single child in that school. Collaborate with educators that are there. Those veteran educators, they have knowledge. Those new educators that are coming in, and I'm working with a lot of new educators, they also have tips and strategies. You know, we are talking about the millennials coming out of the colleges and universities, so definitely it is so important that we merge and transition the knowledge and the information so that we can better serve the students.
Absolutely. And one of the key components of a successful school is engaging parents and parental involvement and community involvement. Can you talk a little bit about how teachers at the teacher level, because as school leaders, we know that's a definitely a big rock for us is engaging the community and parents. But as a teacher, how can they do that within their own classroom?
You're right. Parental involvement, parent engagement, it is so critical to the success of a school. And so a teacher early on can always at open house invite parents in for meetings, invite parents in just to observe, just to share. Sometimes you think that a parent may not be working a professional job, may not have the skills. You never know. Do you know what that does to a child when a parent may be a blue-collar worker and they have an opportunity to come into that classroom and share about their expertise? Because, you know, I've been living a long time. I've had an opportunity to be in the field of education just about all my life when I departed from college. So it's very important that we look at every child once again as a success and every parent as a success. No matter what they look like, sound like, they have an opportunity to make an impact. And we have to be open to that and make sure that we engage our parents every step of the way.
I love it. I tell you, I'm so excited. So guys, you definitely want to be on the lookout for the Heart of School Transformation. It will be out soon.
Yes, indeed.
And in addition, because I know you're working on a few more that's coming up, and we definitely want to support Dr. Essie McCoy in her plight for this. And this is the Heart of School Transformation. Dr. McCoy, let everyone know how can they connect with you. School districts, if they need to hire you as a consultant, individual educators, because I do believe you work with individuals as well. Let them know, how can they connect with you?
I am definitely on all the social media platforms, so Facebook, definitely Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can go to my website, dressiespeaks.com. Dr. Essie at dressiespeaks.com also is my email address. McCoy, that's McCoy at gmail.com. So I am out there on all the social media platforms, but please check me out so that I can impact your teachers and impact the schools and the lives of students. And thank you so very much.
Thank you, Dr. McCoy. And I tell you guys, and you're going to see more of Dr. McCoy right here, so I'm excited about what's to come. And so again, her book is The Heart of School Transformation. transformation will be available soon. Can we please thank Dr. McCoy for her time here? Thank you so much. Awesome. So, guys, we're going to take another quick break, and we're going to come back with the phenomenal Miss Sharon Lucas. We'll be right back.
Flying high. So whenever you're flying high, you're going to have some bumpy areas. That's why I want to admonish you to don't give up, but hang in there.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming back with us. My next guest is Miss Sharon Lucas. She is a best-selling author and planner and host of the Black Authors and Readers Rock Weekend, also known as BAR, an annual networking conference for African-American authors and all readers. She is also the co-founder and organizer of the Prince George's Spring Book Festival. Can we please welcome Miss Sharon Lucas?
You.
So excited to have you, Miss Lucas.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And so the first thing I want to is show your books. This is a collaboration project that you're in, The X Chronicles.
Yes.
And then this one is Planet, the complete guide, resource guide for authors, book clubs, and literary event planners. Yes. Such a dynamic guide. So I've got to first start out by talking about BAR. You got to share a little bit about, it's the sixth annual.
Absolutely. We've actually been doing it for 10 years, but we started out, I founded a book club in 1998. And in 2008, we decided to celebrate our 10th anniversary. Wow. And we started having what we called a literary brunch. Mm-hmm. And people wanted so much more that in, I think, 2012, we went to a 2-day event, and I named it the Black Authors and Readers Rock Weekend.
Okay. That is awesome. And so it is, it's coming up when?
It is coming up September 14th and 15th at the Harborside
Hotel, yes.
Which is a beautiful venue.
Yes, I've had 2 book signings there, and I love it.
Very good.
Yes,
but it's beautiful.
Yes.
And so we're getting pumped up and ready for the 14th and 15th.
That is awesome. So who are some of your better-known authors that are going to be represented here?
Victoria Christopher Murray will be with us Friday night.
Okay.
Lolita Fowles is our keynote speaker, and we will be honoring literary icon Tina McElroy Anson.
Oh, awesome. That is awesome. This is going to be an exciting event. It really is.
So.
It is. And so what differentiates BAR from other author conferences?
I don't really think anything.
Okay.
And I know that that's a little strange to say, but I think that every literary conference should be about getting readers and writers together.
Okay.
And that's what we do. We don't specialize. I mean, there are some events that are romance events or whatever. We bring in all genres. And so I think that makes it different.
Okay, that's awesome. I tell you. And you know, when you started this, like you said, you've really been doing it for 10 years.
Yes.
And so this is the 6th annual. Did you see yourself where you are now with this event?
No.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. No. It was just a weekend thing that we did to celebrate being a book club.
Okay.
But I loved it.
Yes.
I love getting people together. I just love the whole thing, and so we've continued to do it.
Wow. And so I know something of this magnitude, you can't do this by yourself. Are there other partners that assist with this event?
Yes.
Okay.
This year, every year I partner with my book club, which is the Reading Divas of DMV.
Oh, I love it.
But this year I wanted to kind of spread the word around. And so I also partner with the Sugar and Spice Book Club of New York and the Literary Ladies of New Jersey.
I love these titles. I tell you, awesome. This, I'm telling you, it's amazing. So, who's your target audience for attending BAR?
Readers.
Just readers. Period.
Yes.
Readers. I love it.
Because they say we don't read, but we do. But we really need support in the Black community in terms of supporting our authors. And so it's readers. We want people to read. We want to celebrate the written word. And that is why we have BAR.
Wow. I love that. And I want to go to Planet because this really is a wonderful guide.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about the construction of how you did this because you have planned many events. And not sure if I mentioned, but you also do the Prince George's County Spring Book Festival, which has been phenomenal.
Thank you.
And so you plan a lot of things. So tell us about the construction of this book. How can this help individuals?
Well, I think that we don't spend enough time planning. This book came to me because I went to other events and just thought, oh, it could just be so much better if. And I think that was just the impetus for it. Plus the fact I was friends with Victoria Christopher Murray and Rashonda Tate Billingsley, who are the owners of Brown Girls Publishing, and they kept encouraging me. And so that was Planet, because I really wanted people to have one book that they could go to and plan a wow event.
Yes. And this is it. I'm telling you.
Thank
It
you.
is it.
Thank you.
So how does one register for this event, and how can people maybe in the future be a part of it?
Well, I have to first say that you got me to extend the registration date because how could I come on here and not be able to tell people they could still get tickets?
Absolutely.
So it's very easy. You can go to Eventbrite. You can reach us through our website, which is blackauthorsandreadersrock.com. Reach out to me at SharonRLucas.com. Tickets are available through midnight Wednesday.
Midnight Wednesday. That's awesome. I tell you, what's next for all of this literary experiences that you are providing for authors as well as readers?
What's next? Just to continue celebrating the written word, bringing people together. It's very hard for Black authors to really get an audience. We just don't have a lot of things that other authors do. So we must support the authors in our community. And the more events we have, the better the word will get out. I really believe that.
Exactly. And so, guys, if you are interested in participating in BAR this year, you have to Wednesday midnight to get your ticket.
Absolutely.
And you also want to stay connected for the Prince George's County Spring Book Festival that hopefully will return in 2019.
Yes.
Because that's a phenomenal event. Just so many things. If you're an author, and as she said, if you are a reader, you need to be connected because it's for all readers, all authors.
It is.
I love that. So give them your contact information one more time.
I'm going to make it simple. Sharon at SharonRLucas.com.
There you have it, guys. I love it. Thank you, Ms. Lucas. I appreciate you for being here. So, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we are going to be on the phone with our author spotlight and book feature, Miss Angela Marshall, also known as Author Stone. We'll be right back.
Turbulence is the price you pay for flying high. So whenever you're flying high, you're going to have some bumpy areas. That's why I want to admonish you to don't give up, but hang in there.
Y'all see what I'm talking about? Come on, Kiara Sheehan, come help her. Everybody clap your hands. Kiara Sheehan, make some noise. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go.
What you gonna do when your back's against the wall? How you gonna respond when it seems the hope is lost? Tell me what you gonna do when you need a little more grace. Yeah. How you gonna respond when they try to test your faith? Hey, Lord.
And guys, we are back with my phone guest, Miss Angela Bestseller Marshall. Arthur Stone, are you on the line?
I am on the line, Dr. Sharon. How are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for joining us. As I mentioned, Angela is the author of Reality to Rags to Riches, the story and life of an ex-NFL wife. And so let me just talk a little bit about who Angela Marshall really is. She is an Augusta, Georgia native. She's an entrepreneur, community advocate, and youth mentor and supporter. She's a motivational and literary messenger, professional writer, columnist, mother of two, and an ex-NFL wife, and business owner of In Other Words by Stone. Studio audience, can we give Angela Marshall a welcome to the show? Thank you so much, Angela. I appreciate you calling in today and us just getting to know a little more about your book. So how did you come up with this title?
Well, reality, rags, and riches, Dr. Sharon, are all levels in my life that I went through, and actually to some degree, I'm still experiencing those levels in my current walk in life. I just added the story and life of an ex-NFL wife because, I was constantly asked about my life during that period when I was a professional athlete's wife. So that's how I came up with the title, Reality, Rags, and Riches, the story and life of an ex-NFL wife.
So why did you write it? What was the purpose, Angela, in writing this book?
Basically, just to share every emotion, feeling, lesson, and mask that I encountered during that time. Most people seem to think that power, status, and money equals lavish, and it does. Materialistically, it does equal lavish, but it can also equal lack and less than. You can have all of those things surrounding you, but they cannot love you. They cannot comfort you. They cannot free you. And so you're surrounded by quite a bit of superficial, extravagant, and abundance of everything, but what truly matters is just to feel and be genuinely loved.
Wow. And part 2 of your book, which you entitled Rags, I just want to read the first part of that. You says, this part of my life, based on the standards set by the American dream, should be titled Riches. However, because of my low-end emotional, spiritual, and physical mindset, despite the perceived wealth and status, it was more appropriate to title it Rags. Whew, talk about that just a little bit.
Yeah, it was quite a low point in my life. Not, I want to clarify this, not because of my ex-husband, or the experience, the NFL experience as a whole, because everything that I was afforded the privilege to be exposed to at that time, it was great. It was what it needed to be at that point in my life, but I just was not who I needed to be at that point in my life. So that's why I chose to title that section Rags, because I felt like, I was surrounded by everything, but literally I had nothing. I had nothing to fulfill me.
Wow. That's deep, Angela. It really is. So what has been the feedback that you received either from the NFL community or just from your circle that you had at the time? What's been the feedback?
Well, it's been mixed reviews, mostly good. You know how that goes. You have to take the good and the bad and the happy and the sad. So a lot of people, or some people, have, they have this negative perception about my motive for writing the book. Like, I actually had a few people to comment on my Facebook business page. They said that I was this bitter ex-wife that enjoyed spending money on weave, spa days, and wine, which I've never had any of those things in my life to a certain degree. And actually, I should have pampered myself a whole lot more when I was in there. And I prefer martinis as opposed to wine. But anyway, but seriously, I get messages about how my truth is helping others to speak up and speak out, for them to be able to use their voice. And those are the messages that I really internalize and I process. Anything that is of a good report that's going to help others, help free them, I'm all with that. And so that is the majority of the feedback that I'm getting is good. But again, there are those naysayers, and you do understand that to whom much is given, haters will be required. So I'm good with that.
I love it. And so was there any part of the book that was difficult for you to actually write?
Ooh, yes, there were two spots in particular, but one that I want to talk about was just when I penned about I was a counterfeit everything to everyone, but an authentic nothing to myself. Ooh. So even as I say that to you, like, I get goosebumps and I revert and I revert to this little girl or this, like, I just still feel when I say that, I still feel a great cloud of heaviness just knowing that I completely lost myself trying to find and become what others wanted and thought I should be.
Wow. That's really heavy, Angela. It really is. And so what is your relationship like now with your ex-husband?
Well, we have a cordial relationship. It's very good, obviously, now, 20 years later. But and also, we have the same goal of being better parents and role models to our 2 adult children and our grandchildren. We both appreciate each other's growth, our career paths, just our spirituality, everything that we are becoming without each other. And I know that sounds really crazy because it's like, well, you guys took a vow and you should have been able to grow together, but we couldn't. So now we are rooting for each other to succeed in life on our individual paths. So we have a good relationship.
That's awesome. And so, I'm looking at the last words of your book. How did you feel when you wrote those last words?
Well, surprisingly, the last words are a poem that gives expressions to my ex. Mm-hmm. It was a freeing moment. Like, I felt free after writing the very last word to him, where I talk about, I'm a better woman. I'm a God-made woman because of you. I'm empowered because of you. And let me use this analogy. It was like picking up a stumbling block from my past, placing it in front of me, then stepping on it and over it to move forward.
Wow. And it reads, and finally, you lost me and I lost the best in you, but no regrets, anger, nor vindication to ensue. I'm an irreplaceable God-made woman because of you. Wow. Woo! I tell you, Angela, it's really something. I just appreciate you coming on. Just so we can dive in just a little bit about this book, because I know there has been a little controversy about if you should write it, why did you write it, so I'm glad that you shared why and what your purpose was in writing it. Also, I want you to give where they can purchase this, because I know it's on lulu.com, so please give them all the information to purchase this book.
If that is correct, they can go to lulu.com. I'm on Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, iBook. They can also go to my personal website, which is www.inotherwordsbystone.com, and they can purchase the book as well as other books from that website. And any of my social media outlets, I usually post quite a few times throughout the week to let others know that the books are available. And the great piece about getting them from me is you will also get a personal message from me and get it autographed. So
awesome.
That's how they can purchase the book. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Or even just reach out to me.
Okay. I appreciate you. Thank you so much calling in from Augusta, Georgia. Again, the title of the book is Reality to Rags to Riches, the story and life of an ex-NFL wife, and it is the autobiography of Angela Marshall, also known as Arthur Stone. Angela, again, I thank you, and I look forward to seeing you soon. So I just appreciate you, and will definitely put this. It is actually already on the website, so you can go to the I Am Dr. Sharon Show website and click on the link to get your purchase. Angela, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sharon.
Guys, I want to say thank you to all of my guests, including Angela Marshall. I want to thank Tykia Lawrence. I want to thank Debbie Jo Wheatley. I want to thank Dr. Essie McCoy. I would like to thank Sharon Lucas and the fabulous engineer, Mr. Ron Jackson. Thank you all for a wonderful show today. We will be back next week with another phenomenal lineup of guests. And as always, the bigger the dream, the harder the grind, but you need to continue to grind.
Flying high. So whenever you're flying high,
that's a wrap, guys.
That's why I want to admonish you to don't give up, but hang in there.
All right, guys, we got to take a group photo.